me, just watch.
Back on the Morning Brew with Friends. We got Sheriff Manuel Gonzalez here, along with Felicia Blair Rivera, the Deputy County Attorney. Good to have you guys on. And how great is Hillary?
Awesome.
Right? It's just a crime. I think you can arrest our director for having to pull away from her singing, right? And every time you show up, like half the crew leaves. I don't know what that's about. I haven't been able to figure that one out yet, but we'll figure it out next time. But there's some interesting stuff happening in Bernalillo County right now, and I know the Bernalillo County Commission made an interesting vote the other night, and this is something that I guess it's an ordinance you had to help draft into our overview, and this is something you guys have to enforce. Is that right?
That's correct.
And it has to do with drag racing,
Yes.
which I love, just not like on San Mateo. So it's basically the county approved seizure of vehicles involved in street drag racing. Is that right?
That's correct.
So how do you spot somebody who's drag racing? How do you know the difference between a drag racer and somebody like me who just likes to accelerate quickly from a stoplight?
Well, there's a difference.
And I mean by quickly, like I don't mean burning rubber. Oh, they're organized.
They're organized, and it's not an individual thing. It's usually done in pairs. Obviously, they disrupt the traffic, and they communicate. So they're highly organized. It's a lot more difficult for us to recognize that.
Oh, really? Yes. So where are the drag races, or is that something you want to like let out on the Morning Brew?
Well, I think one of the main areas that they were trying to address was the tramway and Paseo area.
Okay.
That's where we were having a lot of public outcry. That's where we were getting a lot of the commissioner getting involved, wanting to push forward on that ordinance because of that reason.
Okay. Now, Felicia, this is an interesting thing because I know that the city has taken some heat lately because of they call it civil asset forfeiture, which is taking a vehicle or taking property without somebody being convicted. Now, how does that work in this ordinance?
So this ordinance is rooted in what's called nuisance abatement, and so the city and the county as well we've had these types of ordinances usually for DWI enforcement. And so the current outcry is based on some state law that has recently changed that says that convictions are required before you can seize property. However, these local ordinances aren't really connected to what this state law is, and so we have our own form of due process where we can address people's property rights without having to have a conviction for the offense at hand of what this person is being arrested for right at the moment.
Okay. So in a nutshell, it's legal for you guys to take a car just under suspicion of drag racing, or is it an arrest of drag racing? Is it a,
It's an arrest of drag racing. We have to have probable cause. And there are a series of hearings that have to take place first. The Sheriff's Department has to prove that there was probable cause to do this. We also, here in Bernalillo County, the city doesn't have this, but we have to have a conviction history. So this person, this can't be the first time they ever get arrested. This can't be just sort of, maybe there was some sort of mistake or misunderstanding. There's got to be a pattern here. We have to have a pattern before we can say this person is a danger to the community, they're a nuisance, and their vehicle is a nuisance. And so that's, I think, what sets our ordinance apart from what the city has.
Okay. So it's not just the kid down the street who's revving his engine really loud. It's like somebody who's actually out there doing stuff. How big a problem is drag racing? I mean, this is a thing that, I go to the drag strip. I love watching it there. But I don't really, myself, I've never seen it on public streets. Is it a big problem, or is it just something that,
The neighborhood associations in that area has been notifying us throughout the years. And this summer we did 9 traffic enforcement plans. With those plans we wrote over 1,000 citations, 6 arrests. That's a temporary solution. We're looking for long-term solutions to this problem.
Yeah. Well, what does a citation for drag racing look like? Is that like $1 million fine? Is that what is that? I wouldn't even know.
No, it's not going to be that. It's a summons into court. It's an issued citation. They have to go into court, and
the judge will assess something after that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are fines and what have you.
Yeah. Are there alternatives now? Clearly kids, I think for generations, ever since cars were invented, kids have wanted to drag race, right? Yes. Are there alternatives? Are you guys lining up things like go here instead of on tramway and Paseo? Are you telling?
Well, there's nowhere in the county, that on the streets that are public streets, you can't do that. But we would encourage that. But off the top of my head, I don't know if there's a place. I know there is place on the far west side, but that's not for public use.
Oh, okay. There is the drag strip off Bobby Foster Road that is they do allow I think it's once a month or something. They have the run what you brung nights.
Yeah.
And you can bring anything out there, and guys go out and they drive like their buddy's farm truck or their wife's Saturn or something, and just take it out of the drag strip, which is fun.
Yeah.
But in your case, I mean, is this the kind of thing that does this add to a lot of the caseload you have at Bernalillo County, or are you expecting it to be resolved pretty quickly?
We're not really sure what the long-term effects are going to be. I think the part of the problem with this enforcement has always been trying to catch these individuals because, you know, with the advent of social media, a lot of times they're able to kind of tweet all these things and
or
say
text
they're coming or text, and then they're gone. But I think the big impact we're hoping to have is more of a deterrent effect to try and at least get people to realize there's going to be a larger impact if we engage in this kind of conduct.
Right.
But we already have a pretty substantial DWI forfeiture program, and so.
Right.
It remains to be seen what the
Right.
big impact will be.
Right. And I want to ask you briefly, I know that the state is trying to ramp up efforts with Operation Lily. What is the Sheriff's Department doing with that?
We're part of that effort.
Okay.
We collaborate with the state, the city.
Because that's going to be a huge effort all winter long, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody's involved in that initiative.
And how do you spot somebody who's driving aggressively? Because Operation Lily came about after a road rage incident in Albuquerque, right? And how do you spot somebody who has road rage? How do you spot somebody on the highway? How do you train your deputies to know when that's a thing?
Well, I spoke to one of our traffic enforcement officers the other day.
And can they spot it? Like, do they know?
Yeah, sometimes they're they're aware of what's going on not only in front of them but behind them.
Oh, of course.
Typically, they're going to see a vehicle. One of our enforcement officers clocked somebody going 121 miles an hour the other day.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I was late to work.
And they took him to jail. so there was a reckless driving involved.
Yeah.
There has to be more than just the speeding. There has to be another element in that driving behavior. So obviously there was, and they actually arrested that person for reckless driving because they're putting the general public at risk.
Right, right.
Yes.
I think people always forget that when you're going that fast, no one expects you to be going that fast. You may be safe in your car, but nobody else knows that you're going that fast.
We
So
know what it looks like. We drive these in the city, the county, and you're watching these people weave in and out of traffic, cutting people off.
okay, and that's how you guys know.
It's at a high rate of speed.
Yeah, well, great. Well, hey, thanks guys for coming in. Don't drag race and Bernco on the brew. We love it when these guys come on. And we gotta go back to Hillary and Chris.
Yes.
This is so wonderful. Thanks guys for coming in.
Thank you.
Shagging up, and I'm bagging up. What do I do with a fool like you? Too tough in the morning, too cold in the afternoon. Give me your hand, I'll give you shelter.